If you've seen my last video, you'll know that I've been using the Huawei P40 Pro for a while now. This is the one everyone's talking about. But the company actually released three phones: a €799 P40, the €999 P40 Pro, but then also a €1,399 P40 Pro Plus, the Ultra phone. And after a bit of a stuck-in-customs situation, I finally got it, and this might just be a world exclusive, so do subscribe if you want to see more of those. Okay, so the packaging is externally standard Huawei fare. Their boxes have looked like this for years now. It says 8 gigs of RAM and 512 gigs of storage. That is a lot of storage, but half of the 16 gigs of RAM that Samsung's S20 Ultra comes with. The phone is on top, we'll get to that in just a second. There's your SIM ejector tool, a standard clear TPU case, USB-C cable, wired earphones, and a Huawei 40-watt supercharger. Okay, it's $400 more than the P40 Pro. The packaging is basically the same, bar a little plus sign next to the logo. So what are you getting here? Well, the P40 Pro Plus has three main pros. Three main advantages over the P40 Pro. The design, the charging, and the cameras. So first of all, if I put this side by side with the P40 Pro, you can tell they're from the same family. They've got the same shape, the same size, that two-tone style camera module, that's all unchanged. But the most obvious shift is the material. It's moved from reinforced glass on the Pro to nanotech ceramic here. And this is a cool material to have on a phone. It is harder than glass for starters, which means it would take more for you to scratch it, and would probably hold up better if you accidentally chucked it into the same pocket your keys are in. We've all done it once. Or 5 times. It's more conductive, so it can take the heat inside your phone and dissipate it better, in theory, so it should stay cooler. And there might also be a very slight performance bump as a side effect. Also, based on what we saw from the Essential phone a few years ago, which ironically ended up being anything but essential, but that phone did have one thing going for it: a ceramic body, and it pretty much aced the durability tests. So you could expect something similar here. I've actually got my Mohs picks, the ones used to test hardness, sitting literally there, and I won't lie to you, my hands came close, but it's probably a little early for that. And then as for how it actually looks, I'd say it's not for me, but I get it. I was promised reflective, and they weren't lying. This is effectively a tinted mirror. I can check my teeth in this, but this kind of reflectivity has two implications. It looks stunning when it's clean, but also it's hard to keep clean. And to that end, the normal P40 Pro's finish does a better job of resisting fingerprints. Also, if I had to pick, I'd probably go for the silver on the Pro as opposed to plain black that you get on the Pro Plus, but there is also a white one which I haven't seen that might completely blow me away. The other thing you'll notice design-wise is that the camera module is even bigger. Yeah, more cameras. In fact, in total, this phone has 7 cameras dotted around it, 2 on the front and 5 on the back. So that 5x optical zoom sensor on the Pro, this sizable one on the bottom, has now been swapped for 2 cameras, a 3x optical zoom one here, and then a 10x optical zoom one here. It's literally twice the size of the one on the P40 Pro, and I thought the way they had achieved it is pretty fascinating. Let me reiterate here, if you told even techie people a few years ago that they'd be getting 10x optical zoom on a smartphone, they would think it was some kind of late April Fool's joke. Admittedly a really sad one. But even me, when I was getting briefed over like a video call, when I first sort of saw the phone, I had to double check that it was in fact 10x optical zoom. And it is. So, just generally, to achieve magnification, optical zoom, you need distance between the sensor and your lens. The obvious problem though, trying to do that on a smartphone, is that you don't have the physical depth to be able to create that distance. So what a few phones have done in the past is create a periscope system. So light comes in through the lens, gets reflected internally, and then hits a sensor sitting in the body of the phone. It is seriously cool, and some phones in the past have used this to achieve up to 5x optical magnification. But to hit the 10x scene here, you've got to create more distance. You've got to create the longest possible pathway for that light to travel between the lens and the sensor. So, just for this phone, by the looks of it, maybe they'll use it in future ones too, Huawei's created a completely new system that bends the path of the light 5x within the body of the phone. Regardless of how important it actually is to have 10x optical zoom, I just think the mechanism is such a clever piece of engineering. Okay, so that's design. I got a little bit carried away there, but charging. The P40 Pro has 40-watt wired supercharging, and then pretty fast 27-watt when you go wireless. The P40 Pro Plus has wireless supercharge. So you might have guessed it, that's 40 watts of power even when you're wireless. You do need to buy Huawei's own proprietary charger for it to work. I'm not personally much of a wireless charger myself, but it might just be the most powerful commercially available wireless charging out there. Okay, but the main thing with the Pro Plus is cameras. I've been playing with it for a bit now, and to make one thing clear, this is super early software. This phone is coming out later than the P40 and the P40 Pro, so I'm told the software is not even close to being ready. So I can't show you camera samples yet, but I can already tell you that this is the first time a phone can consistently see more detail further away than my eyes can. And you notice it particularly in video, for one key reason. You've probably seen the Galaxy S20 Ultra. That phone has a 100 times space zoom camera on the back, but it's not quite what it seems. The actual optical zoom range is about 4 times, but it compensates by being a high-resolution sensor. So when you're zooming in to take a photo and you go past 4 times, you can keep zooming for a while and still get a sharp picture, because you're cropping into that high-res sensor. This doesn't really work for video. When you zoom in above 4 times for video on Samsung, it won't then start cropping into its sensor to maintain that crisp 4K quality. It'll just use digital zoom. So the other way to achieve 100 times max zoom is to do what Huawei's done, to have a lower resolution camera but with a further optical zoom range. You could think of it like this: Samsung's optical zoom will only get you to here, but because it's a high resolution sensor, you can keep cropping quite a bit further. Huawei's optical zoom will get you all the way to here, but because it's a low resolution sensor, you can crop a little bit further. So in terms of how photos will look at 100 times, the software is a bit early for me to say. But from what Huawei's saying, it should be much better than Samsung's. We'll have to wait and see on that one though. But the big gap, something I can see already, even with this incredibly early software, is when taking video. You can get what looks like almost full quality video with 10 times magnification. You know how with most phones, you see a jump in quality as you're kind of zooming in, as your phone switches to its telephoto cameras? Yeah, well, as you're zooming in here, you get that jump twice, once when you hit 3 times, and then again when you hit 10 times. I've never seen anything quite like it. Of course, everything else you might have wanted to do with zoom is better here too, like zooming all the way into the moon, for example. But yeah, pretty much everything else is the same as the P40 Pro. The same software, the same display, and while this is not a review by any stretch of the imagination, I can already say that if you're a Huawei fan and you're looking at this lineup wondering which one to get, it's probably going to be the normal Pro. The lighter body, the matte finish, more importantly the much lower price tag, gives it that mainstream appeal. But as far as having an extreme phone to kind of sit on top of that lineup, this is a cool bit of kit, and I'm excited to see how it gets better with future software updates. If you enjoyed this video, a sub to the channel would be incredible. There is a lot of content coming out next week. With that being said, thanks for watching, my name is Aaron, this is Mr. Who's the Boss, and I'll catch you in the next one.